Welcome to Speaking Prowess. Are you ready to supercharge your communication skills and achieve unstoppable success? You're in the right place. Join Sifu Rafael, the visionary founder and master instructor who transforms leaders into powerful communicators, along with co-host, CEO, and best-selling author Richard Walsh. Together, they blend communication mastery with cutting-edge leadership strategies. Prepare to unlock your full potential and make every conversation count. This is Speaking Prowess.
Richard, what? We are doing it, my friend. We are launching today. I am super excited. How are you today?
I'm awesome. Ready to get into the orbit. Let's launch this thing. It's going to be fantastic.
We have some exceptional presenters with us as well and trainers who are going to be in part of our platform. So let's go ahead and bring them on. Doris, how are you? Jose, and Willie the Bam Johnson. Everybody say a quick hello. Tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the show, which is communication. Doris, why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself a little bit?
So, hey, good morning or good afternoon, everyone. I am Doris Jackson Shazier. I am a leadership coach and management consultant. I am so excited about being a part of the Speaking Prowess team. I guess I'll hand it over to Jose.
Hi, good morning. Jose here with the Connected Leaders Academy, founder and CEO. I am out of Maryland, happily married, 6 kids, and just enjoy the journey of entrepreneurship. And I actually met Sifu Rafael in the martial arts industry, as well as the BAM, Willie the Bam Johnson as well. So we have a history there, and just excited to be a part of Speaking Prowess and everything we're doing here. I have to head off. I just wanted to come say hello. So I just wanted to, again, let everybody know I'm excited about what's coming on all fronts here. So congratulations on the launch as well.
Thanks, Jose. You're awesome.
So, Willie, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about you and your excitement to be here as well.
Yes, my name is Willie Bam Johnson, master teacher. Our main focus point with our organization is called Warriors Mindset, about really digging down inside and bringing out your personal best. I'm excited about being a part of the platform, given a chance to really share our life lessons and our opportunity to really empower people. So it's awesome to just be a part of the team and do what I love doing, uplifting and empowering people from the inside out.
Love it. Over to you.
Hey everybody, my name is Fong Chua. I'm a business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every chance I get to add value and impact people, I say yes, yes, yes. So that's why I'm here. I'm very excited to be a part of this. So thank you very much.
And then, Richard, I'm going to put you in the hot seat as well. Tell us a little bit about you. And you look so darn sharp today, so dapper.
Yes, well, enjoy it. It's, like I said, I wear a suit 2 times, the first and last time. Okay, so that's how it works. No, I've been about 35 years as an entrepreneur, coming out of the Marine Corps in the late 80s. Started working for myself, so I've been on an awesome journey. Lost everything in 08, 09. Had to start over. I have 6 children as well, and at that time they were 4 years and younger. That was a bit of a challenge, but I regrouped, relocated, scaled a couple more businesses, started helping other businesses from a coaching standpoint. Wrote a best-selling book called Escape the Owner Prison. The Contractor's New Way to Scale, Regain Control, and Fast-Track Growth While Loving Life. Learned a lot of things what not to do in business, because I didn't do a lot of things in business that caused my collapse, even though I made a lot of money for 20 years. So I fixed all that, and now I get to help other entrepreneurs, other business owners create freedom, profit, and impact in their business. Because we often get into that business and we get stuck. We get imprisoned. We work hard those first 2 years. Next thing you know, 10 years has gone by, and you've repeated the first 2 5 times. And that's why you can't scale. That's why you can't grow. You don't have any freedom. Everything you started to do for your family, for your freedom, you never get, but you keep charging forward. So we help free them from that and really balance out their lives. So love connecting here, love speaking, love training. This is a great team we have, and I am just excited to be the co-host with you, Sifu. And let's rock and have a good time.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jose, again for joining us and saying a quick hello. Now he's going to go and take care of some business. Let's consider the conversation that we can all have. What's the first conversation that you have every day? That's a question to see how we evolve as communicators. What's the first conversation? I'm going to leave it for everybody that you have every day.
So first,
Doris
that's an
has something.
excellent question. Yeah, because you really got into that first conversation. It starts. It's kind of internal, right? How do we speak to ourselves? What do we say to ourselves? So typically, my first conversation of the day is in prayer, and affirmation. I am new to being a full-time entrepreneur. I spent the last 20 years working in corporate America and decided to take the leap last year and start my own coaching and consulting business. And so one of the things that I am learning as a new entrepreneur is how I talk to myself and affirm myself each day, means a lot to what I'm able to accomplish that day. So my first conversation starts with affirming myself. And then my next one is with my 5-year-old. He wakes me up almost every morning. And I start to affirm him. So as a mother of 4, it's very important to me that I affirm my kids before they go out into the world. And then my husband. So yeah, like I'm happy to say that my first conversations are very positive each day.
That's how it should be, right? Every day, positive. If we start positive, we should hopefully end positive.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And for me, it's the same thing. I wake up without an alarm clock every day at 3 a.m. And I look at myself in the mirror, make my prayer, look at my vision board, and talk to myself, talking about how great I feel, how wonderful I feel. And I begin to prepare that creative moment before my wife and my kids wake up to do what I need to do. So when they wake up, now I'm surrendered to them and to their service. But I done got everything squared away and ready and in motion before anybody in the house get up. And that's for the last 30 years, 3 a.m. every morning. That's when I wake up.
Well, somewhat similar. I wake up to one of my favorite songs every single morning that gives me the power and the motivation to do what I do. And the next conversation is get up, go for a run. Get up, go for a run. Get up, go for a run. And then I finally go, okay, fine. I'll get up and go for a run.
So you start with comedy in the morning then.
No, he starts with suffering. He starts with suffering because running is nothing but suffering. So that's how Fong starts his day. Let me jump knee deep into suffering. I do have a morning ritual as well. I'm a 4 a.m. guy, always have been. Start my day, get things going. I am 32 ounces of water. I do a couple of mushroom coffees, but then I do my Bible study. I begin with prayer. So my first conversation is with the Lord. I connect with that and continue to strengthen that relationship. From there, it is a thoughts of the day until about 5:30 where I head to the gym. I do a real intense workout for that hour. Monday through Friday, sometimes depending on how hard or not so hard I worked Monday through Friday, I go on Saturday and get that. And that's, I've made a really good habit of that. It's very ritual, and I just don't miss it. So it makes a difference.
I'm just going for a run. You're doing an intense workout. So I think you're in more pain than I am. Come on.
No, I'm still not going to trade.
It's very interesting because for me, like all of you, my day does not start with an alarm clock. But let me digress and say that actually it does, because he wakes me up. He tells me when I should get up, when my day starts. Sometimes it's at 30 in the morning. Sometimes it's at 4 in the morning. I prefer 4, but if it's 2:30 or like last night was 1:30, it is what it is, and I cannot go back to sleep. So for me, it's the passion that drives me to stay up. A lot of people go, "Oh, you woke up at that time. Why didn't you go back to sleep?" My passion won't allow me. That energy inside, I need to do something. And for me, communication is my biggest aspect of my life. So yes, my prayers immediately, the minute I go from a sleeping state to awake state, right into prayer, and then into gratitude. My gratitude is on the gifts that have been bestowed upon me. My arms, my legs, my lungs, my ability to take a thought and put it into action. Because if we don't take that thought and put it into action, it's just they're going to be fleeting thoughts, as they call them. And then the other thing is to associate myself with winners like yourselves, with people who want to make a difference. And when I took this challenge on, it's been a calling of mine since I was a little kid. Communication, communication, communication. How do we communicate? And therefore, I became a big proponent of watching. I love watching people. I love watching interaction. And the funniest thing is when you can see a conversation happening without even hearing it. And you can do that. Put your headphones on, sit at the park, or you sit at a crowded place, and you see an interaction between people. And you see if there's love, if there's turmoil in one person, if there's anger, if there's confusion. And that's all the body. And that's something that I'm going to be talking about at our masterclass coming up next Friday. So consider what conversations we have. Are they spiritual? Are they filled with anger? Are they filled with joy? Are they filled with laughter? And you laugh yourself. Even the first thing, like, man, it's going to be a great, I have this fun thing planned, that fun thing planned. So when you consider the conversations that we have with ourselves, if you can make them the most important conversation you will have all day long and set yourself up to be the champion that you are every day. Every day. So talk to me about the words that we do to talk about, Doris, about affirmations, but I also call them confirmations, right? Because you confirm what you believe. So talk to us about certain things that really play a deeper level to who you are as a person and who you are coming into Speaking Prowess, that you are going to help elevate everyone else's communication skills.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to share more. One of the things that I would like to discuss in our masterclass is communication that inspires action. So, very action-oriented thinking and action-oriented thinking, but also action-oriented communication style that really gets people going. So my affirmations are sometimes about the present, but a lot about the future. It's about speaking to myself in a way that I want to see myself. So even if I don't see it today, I am a seven-figure earner. It just hasn't happened yet. um, I am a mother of successful children. I have a 19-year-old who graduated college with her degree in business, and I have three more who will exceed in the areas that they desire to be in. May not be college, but I am speaking into existence that they will be successful. So I think using action-oriented language not necessarily has to be what you see presently, but what you would like to manifest or see happen is so, so important. And then I think when we are leading and communicating with others, how do we lead with a certain level of assertiveness, but compassion to get people to follow our leadership? Or how do we communicate in a way that stirs something up in another person to make them take action? And so I'm looking forward to sharing what I've learned, what I've been able to execute successfully over my 20 years in leadership, in the areas of inspiring action with others.
That's awesome. Fong, I want to ask you, you're a real estate investor. That's kind of one of your main gigs, right? Piggybacking on what Doris just said about affirmation, talking to yourself, because you're motivated, but how are you talking to yourself? Because that can be a grind of an industry. It's long sales cycles, right? It's all, I mean, there's just, again, you like suffering. You're in real estate, dude. So I want to dive into this a little bit and understand more.
Well, I think the first thing I would do is not consider it suffering, because the words that I put in my head are very, very important. So
that was a test. That was my test to see how you respond.
Awesome. I hope I passed. Well, to kind of go along with your question and also what Doris said and what Sifu said, affirmations, the words that we say, are very, very important. Also, visualization of what you anticipate will happen is also very important as well. Some of the top athletes out there envision scoring that goal many, many times before they even take that first shot. They envision getting that basket, getting that touchdown many, many times before they even actually do it. And when it does happen, it feels normal. It feels comfortable. It feels like, oh, it's always happened before, so this is nothing new, kind of thing. So therefore, for me, when it comes to real estate, I'll go, okay, this is going to be a good deal. This is going to be a good deal. I rarely anticipate that there's going to be problems. Will I have backups? Will I have things that I have set up just in case? Yeah, but I'm not going to expect it to happen. I have certain things in place to mitigate if it happens, but I'm not going to keep on telling myself that. From a speaking perspective, same thing. If you go on stage thinking you're going to suck or mess up, well, most likely you're going to suck and mess up. And my biggest learning lesson for that was something that actually happened. I went on stage, I was performing, I was going to sing a song and something like that. And every single moment before I stepped in front of that microphone, I was thinking about those lyrics over and over and over and over again. And I went, don't screw up, don't screw up, don't screw up. And sure enough, the moment before they announced my name, the last rehearsal that I did in my mind, I messed up on that one lyric. And sure enough, when I got to that one lyric, I completely blanked in front of everybody. I stood there, music kept on playing, and I leaned over, I said, I'm so sorry. And I came back and I finished the song. But from that moment on, I stopped thinking about screwing up. I stopped thinking about messing up my lyrics and all that kind of stuff, and just go. Same thing with real estate, same thing with speaking. Just go up there, anticipate you doing the best, and most likely not, you will do your best. And whatever does happen will be a lot better than what you anticipated. So that's my thought.
That's awesome. It's like playing an instrument. You mess up, you just keep playing. Most people don't even know you messed up, right? But you got to play.
Or you pretend. I played orchestra for a while with the violin, and if I don't know the note, I just pretend to move my bow.
Your secret is out now. You're doomed.
Yeah, now we all know.
That was 20 years ago. It's all good.
That's awesome. Sam, what do you got?
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves fudge. It doesn't matter the shape, taste.
Right. Sam, what do you got for us? Share some of your stuff.
I mean, I know for me, since I was 6 years old, I always had this vision of wanting to be like Bruce Lee. So that vision of those affirmations on the wall, talking about wanting to meet Bruce Lee and all those things did manifest for me to work with Bruce Lee's daughter on a TV show. And so I got to see it, I got to visualize it, and I got to work it every day. And even when I'm around my kids, you know, and the students, it's like whenever I ask someone, how do we feel? Super good, getting better. Even if I feel bad, I got to keep repeating that. Super good and getting better. Oh, yeah. And then guess what? Even if you don't feel super good at that moment, somebody else going like, what is super good? And they're going to force you into feeling that way. So I got to build environments around me that continues to uplift me, even when I can't uplift myself. And that's something that I've just been doing since I was 6 years old and started martial arts. And to this day, being able to travel.
You lost your voice.
I think we lost the.
You lost your sound. Bam. Bam, can you hear us? We lost your voice.
China in 2005. So around here, we can't afford not to, have those positive affirmations. Anybody in this environment, we got to be feeling good. And if not, like you were saying, comedy, humor, whatever we can do to get you out of that stinky thinking, we got to do. Just like us being here today, we uplifting one another. And I think when we build those cultures and those environments, there's no way you can feel down. There's no way you can not believe. That's just how I live my life every day. I don't believe anything's impossible. Everything's possible if I talk to myself and I tell myself that I'm going to do it. And you had said something about making mistakes. For those times that I won 7 world championships, people like, oh man, you have to be perfect. I made mistake on every championship. The time I was perfect, I ain't win. The time I was able to cover up. And people like, whoa, that was great. I like, oh, really? Okay. So sometimes our greatest moments are not going to achieve the level of success that we want, but it will uplift people that in return, it will manifest as we go along. So learning how to go with the flow and stand with the rhythm and the vibrations of the now and the moment, to me, is the most important thing. And that starts with affirmations over and over, or confirmations, as Sifu said, confirmations over and over, making that commitment.
Yeah, I think one of the great things, like you mentioned, is the circles you operate in, right? We really want to understand that those people can lift us up. Okay, we're not always having our best day. Okay, that's just not going to happen. But other people can make your day better.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They'll just knock you out of it. So don't. If you don't feel 100%, that's why I tell people to go get around people.
Yeah.
Don't stew in it. Go get around people. Start up a conversation that's totally unrelated. And they'll lift you up, and it'll change your perspective in a heartbeat. So that's good insight, Bam. Thanks. Oh, me? You want me to talk about it?
I wanted to touch upon. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I wanted to touch upon what Monk said when he was about to get on stage, and he kept saying to himself, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. What you really heard, for those of us who really understand the conversation that we have, what you constantly heard was mess up, mess up, mess up, mess up. And so one of the things that when I teach my clients is I tell them, don't say, don't do something. Instead of saying, if you tell a kid, don't run with scissors, all they hear is run with scissors, run with scissors. So we need to change that and say, walk with scissors. Instead of saying, don't run with scissors, because they hear the last thing or what they thought they wanted to hear. So they didn't hear the don't. They heard run with scissors. Instead, we need to reframe what we're saying when we say it, because not everybody is in your head. So when we speak, we need to speak with some clarity. And instead of saying, don't run with scissors, we should say, walk with scissors. And all of a sudden, the kids are going to say, I keep hearing walk with scissors, but I want to run. But I keep being told to walk. Maybe I should walk. Therefore, if we can communicate a little bit clearer outside of us, then we need to have that clarity inside of us. And that was 20 years ago, Fong. But I believe that you probably said, I'm not going to make that mistake again. But a lot of people don't learn from the mistakes. They make them, but differently. And they say, I will never make the same mistake twice. And they may be right. What they do is they adjust to how they make the mistake and make it different. So we need to reframe our mind on what we really want and how we're going to go about it. I think the minute we can do that, our communication skills really level up. When we say, this is how I'm going to get on stage, I'm going to do this, so this is how I'm going to present this class, so this is how I'm going to talk to someone, I'm going to ask someone out, or I'm going to ask somebody for business. We have to be very articulate about the words we're going to use, because what are they hearing? You guys have been on stages where you speak maybe to several hundred people, but not everybody hears the same exact message, because they hear what they want. And the words we use, they have impact, really resonate with some, and some others, it seems like they didn't have ears that, because they didn't. Consider the word. Consider your presence. Right now, this may be a virtual stage for all of us, but what if we were in person? How would we act? Our body language, our hand gesture, our eyes, our mouth, the way we say a word, the way we bring our tone up or down. Because words, I'd love for you guys to talk about anything that impacts you as a communicator.
Well, I had a comment to follow up with what you just shared there, Sifu Rafael. And sometimes saying certain words only justifies or confirms certain things that you don't want people to know or see. And my example of that is a lot of people go up on stage and they go, "Hi, everybody. I'm very, very nervous, and this is my very first time. And yeah, just bear with me." I'm like, don't say that. Or they might go up there and goes, "Okay, I do have a cough, so don't mind my voice." I'm like, don't say that, because every time you say that, one, you're justifying any mistakes, any issues that will happen because you already prefaced it. And two, you've already planted into the minds of your audience to look for all those things. People who didn't notice it before goes, "Oh, that's because they're nervous. Oh, that's because they're sick. Oh, they did shake there, or they did mess up there." Now you're giving them something to look for, whereas normally they probably wouldn't even notice. So avoiding those scenarios of saying certain things just to prime the audience of potential mishaps is a big no-no for me. And I usually tell my clients to stay away from those. I'd rather you just go up there and say, "Hey, I'm very, very excited, and let's go," kind of thing. So
yeah, that's a great point, Fong. That is that is a 101 course, right? That, because people do it all the time, whether in church or at any state. "Oh, I've never done this." It sets such a bad tone, because what you just did is you lowered the bar. You just told me not to have any expectations of anything good. That's what you just told me. I'm like, well, I'm going to go get some coffee. I'll see you later. Okay, well, you chat. I'm going to go enjoy myself, right? So I'm totally with you there. It's so important to come on, and at the masterclass, I'll be talking about commanding the room. Okay, the power of presence and what that is, and that's a big part of it, right? So we want to be able to come out there and just engage, right? So that first line, just like you're saying, Fong, is critical. That opening, how you begin anything, is everything, right? Because you lose them in that first sentence. They're done. They shut off. They're not going to take notes, going to look around. They're going to check their watch. They're going to wonder what's out at the, what are we having for lunch, and the whole deal, right? So they just leave. I mean, it is mastery. It's a mastery of something as simple as that, and how you communicate. If I begin training someone, well, let's we're going to do a fitness training, right? Well, I have an expectation. I come out and I have a 3-foot riding crop, and I'm slapping it against my leg and talk about we're going to do some work, Okay. They're not confused about what's going to happen. Okay. It's just, we get to business, right? We're going to take the next 30 minutes and we're going to crush it. Right. There's no, oh, I wonder if this guy knows what he's doing. They get a little terrified and then we get to work. Right. I set the tone. I understand what's going on. So really good point, Fong.
I think
Before we go on, I just want to share this with you. 1 second. I want to share a bunch of videos and then bam, you'll come on. This is one of the first videos. I want everybody to consider coming and joining us in New York in November. This is a quick tease.
In a world where words shape destinies and connections forge futures, this November 22nd to the 24th, Speaking Prowess brings you the ultimate hands-on workshop. Reserve your seat now.
Boom. Okay, Bam, go for it.
Excuse me. I think body language has a lot to do with what you do in eye contact as well. Whenever I'm talking to anybody, I want to engage in your eyes. Even if I'm talking to 1,000 people, I want to be able to make eye contact with that one person. I know when I would go and hear somebody like Tony Robbins or Brian Tracy, I always sit on the front. And if I can just get you to look my way, to me, you made a personal, emotional contact to me, with me. And I think that's very important. When I walk up, even when I teach classes, it can be a kid as young as 3 years old. I got to have a strong presence in how I'm talking to you, how I'm standing, because you can have negative body language. Your words can say one thing and your shoulders can be another thing. That's not a consistent communication. So to me, it got to be mind, body, and spirit communication. Clapping my hands, talking to you, moving, all those things are so important. And I think that, for me, when I'm speaking to someone, I can't afford to lose you. Just especially a 3-year-old kid. I can't, anybody that ever taught martial arts, you can imagine how hard it is to teach a little kid that don't want to be there. But when I can engage you with my physical body language, and anybody, ever seen me speak or talk, I might do a backflip. And what is that going to do? Like he was saying, hit my leg with a paddle. But what happens if I hit you with a backflip? I'm like, now listen to me. What is that going to do? It's just going to have you. So, and to me, in a form of communication, I got to be able to adapt sometimes to the audience and to the person I'm talking to, because I might lose you. You might lack a little confidence, so your head is down. But I can't tell you to put your head up. I got to be able to have so much engagement in you that my physical presence can do something to make you put your head up and make you happy. I'm not trying to be funny, but if you're around me long enough, I guarantee you believe in us saying I'm super good, getting better. Let's go, let's go. That's my job, that's my mission. And that got to be in everything that I do. Even the way I'm talking now, I'm talking with my hands, I'm talking with my shoulders up, my eye contact. That is so important. Every aspect of it, verbal, physical, mental, emotional, how I sit, how I stand, how I talk to you. And I think a lot of people don't really, sometimes even when you look at some people talk, if you look at their body language, especially in martial arts, how you hit their fighting stance determines if you're confident to fight. I can see from the way you put your hands up and you stand if you're really ready for what's already happened. And then I can look and say, man, I can get in his head and I already got him. And I think that's so important to show. You look around and there, a lot of people lack that positive body language. Their words say one thing, but the body says something totally different. And to me, my job is to consistently make all three aspects work together in harmony, mind, body, and spirit.
You know what's interesting about that, Bam, is in today's culture with these little phones, everyone is down in their phone, right? That has increased our job. If you want to teach someone communication, like that's your nemesis.
That's right.
That thing is stealing everything they've got. It's stealing every ability to communicate with anyone. I mean, whether they're kids, adult, I'm not even going to blame kids. I mean, they get an excuse. They don't have a developed brain. Okay, they can excuse. But when adults are doing the same thing now, and I'm like, dude, you got to put that down. And you got to look at me. We're going to have a conversation. We're doing a deal here. Like, I had a woman once I had to let go. I was consulting with a large company. And so I'm giving her the reason why. She's looking at her phone, which is a black screen. It's like not even on, and she can't look at me. She's staring at it. There's nothing on it. I'm like, the go-to, the default is looking at your phone. That's an escape for them. That's how they turn you off. That they go there. They're not going to be addressed. So it's really important when you're talking about body language. You're talking about attention, right? How are you going to command that attention? We have this little tool thing here that you got to understand. You're battling against that. You're trying to get the attention of someone they've got 100 neuroscience scientists who are grabbing their attention. You're one person who's trying to communicate. Okay, the deck is stacked against you. So things like you're talking about, Bam, is important. That body language, that movement, it engages them. It brings them back up to you. But if you're just going to stand there and droll, okay, they're not going to listen to you. So you really are battling for attention from a stupid screen. But that's the reality of it.
Yeah. I think that's very interesting that you brought that up. I know Juan started with, hey, this is how you start matters, or what we kind of put out there, and then bam, you hit it out the gate with that body language. And I'm going to throw another thing out there with the tone and the inflection of our voice and the way that we speak. Sometimes I get a little softer because I want you to lean in and listen a little bit more intently. And then I get louder, and then I use words or phrases, and I may adapt my tone so that it's a different meaning. If I say, hey, come here, that sounds somewhere one way. But if I say, hey, come here, it sounds a different way. So I think the inflection of our voice, the tone, the diction of our language is so important when we're communicating and trying to convey messages or to really get that attention. And right now, think about the world of podcasting. Yes, it's visual, but it's also audible a lot. And people are enjoying just listening. Mm-hmm. And so how important is it to really put emphasis on the way that we speak, or the tone and the diction in our speech, so that we can kind of capture someone, or the power of storytelling, or getting people to envision their version of that story and paint the picture in their mind. So I'm just going to add that to it. Tone matters also.
Yeah, that's really powerful, because 90% of all podcasts are still being listened to. Yes. Only 10% is visual. So remember, the power is in the voice, in the voice flexion. Everything else you're talking about, Doris, that's really good. We need to, and this is part of mastering communication, right? You're in different situations and you have to adapt your style for that situation. And we've all just talked about it in different ways, which is awesome. And that's just like scratching the surface. There's so many situations. If we spend a little more time, we could all come up with about 6 more scenarios in a heartbeat, right? On how to communicate differently to different people, because we've all done it, So great stuff. I love it.
I love what Bam talked about is the interruption. Get somebody's attention, a clap. Sometimes when people are not listening, and maybe you're the one that told me this, Richard, but if somebody's not listening, all of a sudden you said, yes, and I robbed the bank this morning, and actually I left some money in my car, about $100,000. What would you do? Oh, now you want to listen. So if we change the conversation slightly, and to find out if they're even listening. I just murdered somebody. And you leave it there. All of a sudden they're like, what? Now I have your. No, I did not murder someone. But you were killing me without listening. So let's get back on top.
It's the same thing with my kids. You ask them something. Hey, what'd you do? Did you? I don't know. And my favorite response is, well, if you did know, what would you say? And they look at you, and then they tell you. So they go from I don't know. I go, well, if you did know, what would you say? And then they tell you what they would do, because their default is I don't know. That's an easy shutdown, right? That's how people shut down conversations. You talk about sales, same thing. You've got these objections, right? And people say things to shut the conversation down. So when we talk about communication, that's a whole nother thing. We could do a few episodes just on that, because that's all about keeping them engaged in the conversation to get to the close, right? Really important. So it's fascinating to me when we look at all the aspects of communication. And I think that's why this network is going to be so powerful, because there isn't one way. You've already seen 5 of us on here tell you 5 different ways and then some, right? And we're just, again, beginning. So there's so many awesome ways to communicate. And I think probably the biggest takeaway for me today has been you really have to understand. I'm just going to call your audience, right? One person, 5 people, 500. You have to understand who and where you're at in the deal, where you're at in the instruction. Man, when you're teaching someone to get that point across. Doris, when you're teaching them leadership, right? You're teaching them how you're actually going to talk to different people, understanding who you're actually trying to manage, right? Same type of thing. Sifu, you too, you're an instructor, right? Whether it's martial arts or you're in the business world, I'm the same thing. I have multiple clients across the country, all at different levels in their business, all different people. I have to communicate differently with them to get results. I think that's the big takeaway for me today.
I have another commercial for you guys. Take a look. We really want you to come and join us in New York.
In a world where words shape destinies and connections forge futures, this November 22nd to the 24th, Speaking Prowess brings you the ultimate hands-on workshop. We have a lineup of some of the most influential communication experts in the industry. These are the voices that will guide you on a journey to enhance your ability to connect, influence, and succeed. Sifu Rafael, master instructor and founder of Speaking Prowess, blends communication and leadership to help you reach your full potential. Richard Walsh brings his strategic and tactical expertise to deliver rapid, lasting results for your business. Dr. Oliver T. Reed, the international multi-best-selling author and motivational speaker, known as the Writing Coach, will help you craft your messages with precision. Jose Escobar, a nationally recognized speaker and leader, will guide you in mastering personal development and leadership skills. This is more than just an event. It's a game-changing, skill-building experience. Walk away with communication prowess that transforms your personal and professional life. Speaking Prowess, where communication becomes your superpower. Reserve your seat now.
Reserve your seat now.
Do it now.
Right? Okay. Here's the thing that we need to consider is also when we speak, we need to understand if they even understood what we just said. How will we get them to communicate better with us? Maybe it's the questions we ask. If you ask a child, they come home from school and how was your day? You're right, Richard. They're going to go, what'd you do? Nothing. But if you say, tell me something joyful, something fun that you did. What was the highlight of your day? You can say that for anyone. You can say that when you first meet a person. Tell me the last thing that you did that was exciting. And if they say nothing, say, well, didn't you wake up this morning? Aren't you happy? So we got to remember that people sometimes don't value the little thing. And it's up to us to help them to understand that everything, a breath that we take has value. The fact that you went to work has value because you're providing for your family. Even if you don't have a family, you have you providing for you. So every little aspect of our lives is as beautiful as we allow it to be. Sometimes it's up to us to communicate that clearly to someone. So the questions that we ask, they really have to reflect a deeper conversation. If we want a good conversation, we can't rely on someone else. We have to be engaged.
Yeah, I think what's important is specificity. So when you're asking a question like, how was your day? Think of the old Rolodex. You just open this whole, now they can think about everything in the last 10 hours and then tell you one thing from that. So it's a really bad question. Like never ask that question. It's kind of like saying, I'm new at this. And it's the same thing. You want to go, how was math? How was your math class today? What happened? You go to one thing And they go, oh, it was horrible. I can't even add 2 + 3. I think it's 6, but it's really 5. And I don't know. Okay, get into that, right? That opens the door for the next questions. That starts a conversation. So specificity is really important. I do though with people like, you get those people who like just want to ask and take and ask you questions about your business and how do you do this and how do you do that? And hey, can I talk to you? And I always start with what specifically can I help you with? I make them think like I need one thing. Don't show up and throw up on me. Okay. I need one thing. Give me one thing. We're going to hit one thing. Let's solve a problem. Okay. And that specificity is really important when you're communicating. It helps guide the conversation and it helps them. So it really helps them give you an answer, not feel like they don't have something. Nothing's worse than having someone doesn't know how to answer a question. Right now they feel demoralized. And now you've just elevated yourself above them in the communication process. And that's no good. We want to stay eye to eye. So specificity is a great way to do that.
Willie, one of the things that, as a martial artist, and you're an active martial artist, which I love, and for anybody who's ever done martial arts, if they claim to be master of something, but they're not currently doing it, I have problems. But you're a person you're trained all the time. You're training people to help them, educate them. You want them to shine. And you do it through so many different great techniques that you employ, which is body language, visual, right? And the auditory aspect of it. I think you probably teach the way I teach, is that you want them to be able to have it. Once you give it to them, it's their gift so that they can share it with someone else. And I think that's an important aspect of a great instructor. I believe that you are.
Yeah, I believe that too. I was thinking when you were speaking, I have 6 kids. And one of my sons, Messiah, we wrote a book called How to Raise Your Parents. Who was so awesome for me as a teacher and even as a father, husband. Sometimes I got to take myself out the center of attention and look at what they're doing and learn from them in the process. And then we create a communication of collaboration. So when I tell people, yeah, my son raised me and my wife to become a better father. So a lot of times, even when I'm speaking and teaching, even at the end of class, I tell the students, thank you for making me a better teacher today. They're like, how did I make you a better teacher? That goes when I used to compete. Kids would come up and say, can I get your autograph? I would say, nah, I got to get your autograph first. Then I'll give you mine. They'd be like, why do you want my autograph? Because I would not be important if you weren't important. You make me important. So together we make each other great. And I think to me, that's, as a teacher, a coach, and a parent, that's how when my kids come around and they wake up in the morning, I say, what you about ready to do this morning, man? Oh, Dad, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go work out, go do football. All right, well, have a great day. We got to figure out how can I relate. It's that vibrational moment. What vibrations are coming off on people? And that's really important too. The energies of the room, the energy of the person that you're talking to. Tony Robbins said an incredible thing. He said, you ever go to a meeting and if the person you're trying to engage with fold their arms, fold your arms. They put their hands on the waist, put your hands on the waist. They lean over, you lean over. Well, it's like in martial arts. When I become so connected to your movement, you become you either engage in a harmonious manner or you feel uncomfortable. At that moment of feeling uncomfortable because I'm imitating you, when I say, no, I'm just trying to relate to you good. I just want to really have us connected. So when this moment is over, we both can leave feeling better, much better than when we came together. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, man. So I think those are some, you just got to me, once again, in martial arts, you talked about it, Sifu. It's not, especially in Kung Fu, I can't have disharmony. I got to have harmony. And when I got harmony, my goal is not to throw broken rhythm, it's to enhance the rhythm, which is communication. When I can enhance that rhythm, our level of communication and connection just rise to higher levels. And that's why we continue to come back. That's why people keep coming back to the dojo. It's not because of belts. It's because, man, I had a rough day. But the moment I walk through this door, my problem might not be gone, but my energy and my focus is so much better. I'm a handle this, I'm a tackle this. And that's what speaking is. That's what communication is. I need to leave you better than how you felt before you came in my presence. And if I don't do that, when you think of Bam, Willie the Bam Johnson, Bam spells the better attitude maker. If I don't make you better, then what have I done? I haven't did my job. That's the acronym for the BAM. So even when you say my name, you know it's about positivity. When you come around here, you can't afford to be negative. That's just ain't gonna happen. Not with me. My kids, my wife, all it. Look, even the pet's gonna be pumped up. I'm gonna get you to start jumping and doing something. Oh, no, 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 no. We can't have no negative energy around here. You know?
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, you want to land the plane here, Sifu?
No, helicopter.
Whatever you're comfortable flying. Get us back on the ground. That's all. Alive. That's all we need you to do.
When you consider this platform that we are all part of, and I don't say me because even though I am the founder, I can't do this alone. This is why I'm bringing all these amazing human beings who are experts in their own degree, their own level, their own entity, their own uniqueness to Speaking Prowess. And when we think about prowess, prowess is power. Prowess is something that comes out of you, like Willie was talking about. We want to energize you. We want you to have the skills to not only make more money, but to have a better relationship. So consider joining us, Speaking Prowess, whether it's online through our platform, which is going to be very soon, or in person at our event November 22nd, where we're having empowering, powerful workshops. All the workshops are going to be 50 minutes only because we want you to re-evaluate what you just learned, give you a good 10 minutes before we go to the next one. We're going to have lunches included. It's on us. We're going to have a lot of great things. We're going to start class. Those workshops are going to start with Tai Chi. Start Tai Chi to energize and wake up your orphans, your concepts. That's on Friday and Saturday. On Sunday, we're going to do some sword fighting. It's going to be safe. I've taught this many a time. So it's going to be wooden sword fighting. It's going to be a blast. And we encourage you that if you're in the New York area or you need a vacation from everyday life, come join us on the 22nd, because we promise that we're not going to teach you a thing, but we're going to add the skills required. You'll be a better person the day you leave. So we're going to train you, not teach you, so that you can use them days and the rest of it. So thank you, everybody, for being part of this incredible journey that we're all on. And Bong, my friend, I love your energy. As Doris are so well versed in leadership and community and the way we do things, that your uniqueness shines, and I thank you for that. And BAM, like you said, BAM stands for something extraordinary. And it's not just the person, it's the messages that he brings. And Richard, my friend, what can I say? You are a leader beyond leaders. You're a leader who all leaders want to follow. But you don't just sit in the back and hit that whip like we've seen people. You're right in there with them because you're also a fighter. So I encourage everybody, follow us because we are promising to take you to the next level of communication. Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Thanks, everybody. Great having you on.
Okay.
Thank you.
One last thing. Don't forget, communicate better. Everything.
This is Speaking Prowess,